welcome to my channel. Wow, I did not expect this season to be this good, especially after season 2 and 3, which I thought they were the same. And in all honesty, episodes 1 and 2 of season 4 dragged for me a bit, but it picks up on episode 3. And then episode 4 was after episode 7. Episode 4 and 7 were my favorites. Episode 4 was all about Max, and episode 7, it was wild. And I think episode 7 was so good because it put all the puzzle pieces together. And let's not talk about twist after twist after twist. If you saw my last video with my strategy plan for watching Stranger Things, I did not do what I promised I was going to do. Remember I said I'm going to space it out, make it 3 nights of, Stranger Things movies. No, I binged. And I hate saying it, but it felt like a 9-hour movie. I thought the episodes had perfect length. None felt too long or too short. The VFX, movie level, top notch. They spend $30 million per episode, and it shows. And I know people compare Stranger Things to a lot of Steven Spielberg movies, and I did see it this season. There was a scene where they're riding their bicycles, almost in like an arrow shape. It totally reminded me of E.T. A lot reminded me of Goonies. Let me get the biggest and best twist of the show out of the way because I can't contain my excitement. The lab guard who's having all this nice little chats with 11, he's number 1. And he's not only number 1, but he's Victor's son. Wait, he's not only Victor's son, he is Vecna. Remember Victor Creel? He was the guy that moved to this beautiful house with his wife and 2 children, a boy and a girl. And then, long story short, because if you're watching this video, I'm sure you finished, the whole season 4. But something was off with the kid. Was his name Peter? Or was the guard's name Peter? Because I don't think they ever named the son. But anyway, Victor's son befriends some spiders and then starts having all these powers, kills his mother in the same way that Chrissy and the newspaper boy were killed with the bones cracking and stuff, kills his mom, and then the daughter dies too, and he's about to kill Victor, but because he has all these powers and he can't control it, he passes out. And then the cops come, arrest Victor, thinking that he killed his whole family. But the kid, the boy, it's not dead. He's in a coma. And then Papa, with all the kids in the lab, sweeps this little boy, and he's number 1. This all happened in 1959. So Victor goes to jail, and then Nancy and Robin, in present time, 1986, go visit him to get some questions answered. And Victor Creel in prison, that old man, it's Freddy Krueger. What a glorious 80s tribute to Robert Englund. It was genius. And it's so interesting because Vecna, it's killing these teenagers by getting to their heads and their nightmares. Isn't that what Freddy Krueger did? Going back to the guard being number 1, Vecna, all of that. All the twists were jaw-dropping, phenomenal. I kind of got a hint that he was number 1 when he was on the floor while 11 was playing that game, and she's like, oh, I want to get 3. And they're talking, and he said something about 1. He said, well, we don't know where 1 is. And I was like, Are you 1? And I love that we got the little boy's story when Nancy was in the Upside Down and she was going through the house and following, his story and what happened to him and the spiders and the family and all of that. Vecna, by the way, looked amazing. The VFX, besides the VFX, once again, top notch, and the makeup, but also the person that's in that suit, they're doing a great job. Side note, you will have to be crazy to keep number one around watching over this kid. So I don't know why Papa did that, because he, I mean, unless number one was lying, but he said that Papa was going to kill 11 because she was so powerful. Then why did he keep one around? Maybe because he needed one to recreate all the other kids? I was also a bit confused about how Victor's son, the little boy, got his powers, because all the other children, they were, what's the powers? Yeah, they got the powers via MK Ultra style series. So did Victor's son, he just was born with powers? Because I remember from another season that the parents from the kids, they had experiments done to them. Maybe they will explain more of, number one's background on season 5, or we will get a spin-off. Because let me tell you, Jamie Campbell Bower, I mean, I know she banished him to the Upside Down and he became Vecna, but I want him back. I want like that actor back, maybe in flashbacks. So once again, maybe more of his background story. He's so good. He was so good. He was so gentle and soft and kind to 11, and then like effortlessly became like evil, and he's like expressions. And then when he was killing the guards and the little kids, he's like star. It was just like a chef's kiss of a performance. When number one, it's having that final talk with 11 and detailing everything, she realizes that she wasn't the one that was responsible for that massacre at the lab, which killed, all the little kids and guards and everyone, as we see on the first, 8 minutes of episode 1, when Papa sees everything and she's like drenched in blood and, coming out of her eyes, and he says, "What have you done? What have you done?" So this whole time we're thinking that 11 could be that violent. And even when she's at the skating ring and that bully Angela, she goes to Angela and hits her with the skates. I was like, Elle, come on. Like, you can be this violent. But then you think that, oh, she killed all those children. Of course she's going to do something like that. By the way, did Papa know that it wasn't 11 that killed all the kids in the lab? Because when he arrives, he says, "What have you done? What have you done?" So he just gets there, and she had already sent, number one into the Upside Down. So now I'm thinking, but he must have security camera footage, right? To see what happened. Or maybe the power got cut off and he really thinks it was 11 that did all of that. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Papa knows that it was 1, or that he still thinks it was 11? Okay, now let's get to the storylines, because we basically have 3.5 storylines. We have the kids in LA, and then we have the kids in Hawkins, and then we have the adults in Russia. LA is kind of divided by the rescuing team of the kids trying to get 11 back, and 11 in the lab. I thought the LA storyline, it was okay. I mean, the kids go to Dustin's girlfriend's house, and I thought that was kind of odd. I was confused, like, is she in a foster house? Or all those kids brothers and sisters? Like, what is going on? And I think we spent too much time there. Another thing I'm hoping they explain, it's Will's painting. Remember at the beginning of the episode, I think it was episode 1, he's painting something, and then when Mike comes in the airport, the painting's rolled up, and we never see what's in that painting. I'm wondering what it will be. I thought the shootout scene at Joyce's house, she wasn't there, but the kids were, because they were, under protection of the lab people, and then the government shows up, and then they have that shootout scene. That was like, once again, movie level. That was really exciting, like from the sound and the pacing. Russia. I did not care for that storyline whatsoever. I'm sorry. I think our time in the motherland didn't feel very believable to me. Even though I live for Winona Ryder's mean faces. Yeah, from one of the prisoners breaking Hopper's ankles, and then the next scene, he's just like running in the snow barefoot, not even limping, to entering a highly secure Russian prison just like that. And I like seeing Hopper with either Eleven or Joyce, and here I didn't see him with none of them. Even the Dema Gordon, I'm pronouncing it wrong, I know, Dema Gordon, blah blah. The fighting scene in Russia, you know, when they're like in that cage, like almost doing like a gladiator type of scene, I thought was underwhelming. One redeeming thing about Russia was that scene when Hopper gets out of the, you know, the second door, and then he sees Joyce and the camera, it's on him, and he just like looks at her, and then, you know, the camera, it's on Joyce, and she's like, and then they come and embrace each other. They don't kiss, but, and then Hopper kind of smiles. Oh, I thought that was such a sweet moment. Winona Ryder, like I said about memes, she says so much with her face expressions. When she's back at her house with Murray, and Murray is explaining something, she's sitting on the couch, she gives all the emotions. She's looking at him like, remember when Stranger Things won, I think it was at the Emmys, and I believe it was David Harbour who plays, you know, Hopper. He was accepting the award, and then he's giving the speech, and Winona was like right next to him, and then she's doing all these like faces, like. And then somebody made a video, I'm sure you guys seen it, it was all over the internet, with the pizza slice going around, and then her eyes just following the pizza slice, like. Hawkins storyline, my favorite, hands down. Maybe because it was the one that had the most characters involved. We have Dustin, Lucas, Max, Nancy, Robin, Steve, and Eddie, which, by the way, it's the best new addition to the show. I thought last season the best new addition was Robin, but this season it's Eddie's. Like, he's so funny, and that actor, I don't know if anyone, you know, thinks the same, but he reminds me of a young Robert Downey Jr. I thought it was really smart to put Lucas with the basketball team guys, not only to have a different dynamic between the OG friends, but to also have someone inside that group to follow them around, because, you know, the guys from the basketball team are chasing Eddie because they think Eddie's the one responsible for Chris's death. And out of the Hawkins kids, Max had the best story. I mean, Sadie Sink, she's gonna go far on her career. I loved watching her deal with the fact that she knew she didn't have much time to live. And then her reading that letter to Billy was very touching. The tension and emotional buildup to her running and breaking free, and then that song Running Up the Hill playing, it was so good. Like, the song really added to the watching experience. I was actually nervous for a bit because I was like, are they gonna kill her? Is she gonna die? Because in the trailer, we see Max, you know, being lifted up. And then when Chrissy and the newspaper boy, when they died and they got lifted up from the ground, I was like, oh no. Then, like, because we saw in the trailer, Max, you know, the same thing happening to Max. I was like, it's Max gonna be next? But also, I was like, no, they wouldn't have put that in the trailer. It's too much of a giveaway. Another one that I was getting worried about was Steve, when he was getting attacked by those bats. Oh, that bat fighting scene was epic, when everyone's around Steve and, you know, hitting the bats. Oh my gosh, that was such a good scene. Now that I'm thinking, he even says, he says, oh yeah, they took 3 pounds of flesh. Robin mentioned a couple times like rabies. Oh, rabies. So Steve must be like infected or something. And then I was like, okay, they're getting out of here. He's gonna go to a doctor. But no, then when they're trying to, you know, climb up the sheets to get back to the real world, Nancy goes in that trance. Vecna has got her. And then Steve is there with her trying to save her. So I wonder if Steve is gonna sacrifice himself for Nancy. Him and Nancy getting back together, I'm here for it. Maybe they're like Bennifer 2.0. The way she looked at him when he was about to jump on the lake and took his shirt off, and Nancy's like, I thought it was so cute. And then the way he looked at her when Addie said that she didn't hesitate a second about jumping in the river to go save you. You know, I did wish for a long time that Steve and Robin will be a couple because I thought they had such good chemistry. But we know that's not gonna happen. Maybe Nancy and Robin could be a couple. Hawkins' crew being split up in between the railroad and the Upside Down and trying to communicate with each other, the way they used that little game, I thought was so clever. It was one of the best parts of the show. And then, you know, when they used the sheets, that it was like the way they filmed it, you know, when they climb up the sheets and the way that come out in the railroad, they're like, oh, that was so much fun until Nancy tried to do it. Now I'm thinking someone from the main group has got to die. Like, right? I don't think everyone's gonna make it alive. Maybe they'll kill off Steve and keep Eddie. That's not a bad trade-off. But we need a meaningful death on volume 2 or season 5. Not like a side character, like a main character. Who do you think should be killed off? I vote for Mike. I don't really like his character, and he's also not a good boyfriend to Elle. Did you remember that scene where she's showing him all the letters that he wrote her and he signs from Mike? She's like, from Mike, from Mike, from Mike. And then if you notice on her goodbye letter to Mike, she signs from Elle. I was like, the pettiness of being a woman. I also think that Mike should have done a better job stepping up to those kids that were bullying Elle. My second vote will be for Jonathan. Yeah, I like him, but I don't think he's adding much to the story. But the more I think about, the more I think it will be Steve. Another thing that I think we'll see on season 5 will be the big battle between Vecna and Eleven. It would be like a Harry Potter Voldemort type of thing, right? Because like Voldemort was almost like number 1, and then came Harry that became more powerful than Voldemort, like 11 became more powerful than 1. This was my spoiler review of Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 1. Volume 2 is coming in July. Can't wait. There'll be another 4-hour movie. Let me know in the comments down below, what did you think of Season 4? And who do you think should be and will be killed off? Like this video, please. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and also hit the little bell notification button so you don't miss any future videos. And I'll see you next time.